of knee rehab, lateral stability. We're going to also add in a weight challenge using bands for resistance, as well as a level change as we work towards being able to climb stairs, being on uneven ground, and not having problems post-injury. What I'm going to start out with, we're going to assume that you're already warm, that you've walked, rode a bike, did something within your comfort zone to warm up. I'm going to start with a step series. I'm going to start without the band, just to warm up and get used to what I'm using. This happens to be a 4-inch step. Make sure to have the abs in and up, keeping some nice pelvic stability, and working towards pushing yourself up, using the glute, not just the quad. And I'm going to go around to the opposite side for a couple, just to get the body ready for what's going to happen. And if you find that the injured side is saying, no way of this today, then do this on the ground. I'm going to stop. I'm going to grab a band. I grabbed a heavy, just so it's there. I'm just going to put a medium resistance band on, and I'd like you to start with the medium to light resistance, just to see how this is going to feel. I'm going to come off to the side of the step. I'm going to step and lift. We're going to go in 5s. Squeezing off this glute. Just a little knee lift. And then we're going to add a side abduction to it. So step and press into the band. Almost stepped off my step there. And press into it, nice and controlled. Staying with this pace. So we're not going for step aerobics here. Your heart rate may go up a little bit. And I think this is our 5th, it might be the 6th. And then I'm going to change sides. Just stepping, finding my balance. I got the resistance and my body resistance as well. You can do that little knee lift. Abs are still in and up. Oops, didn't touch the ground there. That was a cheap one. Got to get another good one. And then I'm going to prepare to add that leg lift. Really working the IT band, keeping the foot flexed, leading with the heel to make sure you don't start to rotate out like this and use the quad. The quad's already getting enough work there. I think I'm probably uneven there, but that's okay. Now your legs are nice and warm if you didn't have a chance to warm up, but this is important to start working against resistance and starting in a slow, careful manner. Our next exercise is going to be a little bit more challenging, mentally as well as physically. We're going to do a little clock. I'm going to have you step up, find your balance. Find it through the ankle, big toe ball mound, little toe ball mound, and heel lift up the arch. And come back down. We're going to do 5 each direction. I'm only going to do 1 foot just to save time for this. I'd like you to do both legs, the good leg and the bad leg. So at least 3 breaths once you're up here. This is my operated on leg. Then you'll go behind. Same thing. This is important to go slow because we're working on stabilization of the knee, not just working the quad and the glute. Because if you don't find those proprioceptors, to start working the inner rotators to hold them there while doing more complex exercises, you'll never get the full range and strength back. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult for the inner rotators. So it's not a speed thing, because you can use those muscles again and get them super strong around the joint, but you're going to lose out everything the ligaments and tendons have to do if you're just doing 1,000 squats and 1,000 fast squats. And one more. I'm keeping my foot parallel. And this one's also going to be tricky. You may need something behind you. Be careful when you step up and stepping backwards and lift. So we're going toe, ball, heel to go down for this one. Which is also very different unless you dance a lot. Then go to the other side. I said I wasn't going to demonstrate it, but I will demonstrate it, just to make sure I stay even as well. And I think you follow along the videotape each time. And this one I definitely want you to, so you are staying nice and slow with this. Because before we add more reps of this, I'm going to have you take it up to 5 full breaths and hold. Stay in and up. If you're finding you're having trouble with the injured side, add the pelvic floor on into the stability as well. Which is good to add in with leg exercises and ab exercises intermittently. You don't want to do them all the time because you can make the pelvic floor so tight that when you start to do anything, twisting and pressing against it, you will press against the bladder, and feel the very needy, urgent need to urinate. And moving to the side. And again, if you need a wall, stick, don't hesitate to take this to where it's safe for you to do this. These are things I do on a regular basis, so I'm comfortable without being with the wall. Now we're going for that back one again. Make sure you know where your stuff is at. The toe ball heel. It's okay to look down at it. Just regain your posture. You don't want to do this and keep looking at it. That means you need to have the wall or stick back of a chair if you have a ballet bar. Back of your treadmill. I'm going to slide this over. So for our last exercise here, it's called a kick and catch. And again, we're going to start with 5 another stabilizers. Because we're going to roll as you see the progression. Turn your outer leg out. Think of kicking a football, soccer ball, and hold. So the weight transfer and catch it. 3 breaths. Step, kick, and catch. And again, we're going to hold for 5 breaths. And this one we're going to hold for 10 breaths before we take it up, and eyes closed. So we're starting with the 3 breaths, but you have to start somewhere with this. And then if it's extremely easy and you're not sore, go ahead, then we'll take things up. This will get you back to McCready's. And running fast. Last one of these, and then we go to the yoga mat. We're going to go through a little series. We're going to go through Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 legs, and we're going to use a little bit of Ashtanga Yoga. We're going to go into the A position as our transition. I'm going to start feet hip-width apart. Stay wide with this. Take your right leg forward, press on into it. Take that left leg back. Turn out at a slight 40 to 45 degree angle. Don't turn it parallel with the edge of your mat. Make sure again, the hips are wide, that this heel is in line with the other heel. Then start to press down, big toe ball mound, little toe ball mound, heel, outer edge of the foot from the side of the toe all the way back to the heel. Same here, big toe ball mound, little toe mound. Knees are going with the toes, middle toes. Let that press down and gently start to bend down into it. Outward rotation, lateral rotation of each thigh. You should really feel the inner thighs connect here. Rotate the hips forward so the hip tips are in alignment with each other. Right hip goes back, left hip comes forward. You should really strongly feel those inner thighs. Last little check, you want to make sure you're not rocking in, even though you've got your thighs rotated. Lift up through those arches. This is 5 breaths here. And then we're going to make a little change. We'll soften everything through the feet so you can heel toe that front heel, which is right now your right one, in the middle of your foot so it's in line with the arch in the back. You may be able to take it longer to go into Warrior Two, you may not. Don't push it right as we're starting this with all the stability. Again, anchor those toe ball mounds down, the outsides of the feet, lateral rotation, and then rotate those hips open. You can add the arms for this if you like, but focus on where those feet are and those arches are lifted so you're using all your stabilizing muscles. And then after your 5th breath here, which we should be after this one, you're going to pick up that front leg, right leg, heel, spin it. We're going to go into the letter A. You may need to go a little wider. Just a slight turn in of the feet. Abs in, hinge from the hips. Let the hands fall, neutral spine. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. Again, anchor with those feet, big toe ball mounds, little toe ball mounds. Really lift the arches here. This is really important for this hip opener. After that 5th breath, we're going to make our transition into Goddess. You're going to spin the heels out, go on the balls and feet to do that. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Gently come up, squeeze the shoulder blades. You can make it into a star if you prefer. And then we make our way into Warrior One on the other side. Take it wide. Again, heels in line with each other. A little rotation in. You're going to rotate those hips forward. Good. Lateral of the legs. Sealed with those feet, arches lifted. 2 more breaths here. And then make sure you also lengthen through that tailbone. You may not have said that at the beginning. So that abs are closed. And then we'll soften on the feet so you can heel toe over. Again, if you want a little bit more length, go ahead. Good. You know all the anchors. You should be doing this barefoot. I didn't take the time to take my socks off. Gently open on up and hold that for 5 breaths. Really watching on Warrior Two, that back leg, to make sure the arch doesn't start to collapse and fold in. 1 more breath here, and then we'll go to the letter B. Again, big arch lift before you hinge over with those anchored feet. Ascend the arms on through. If your elbows touch either way, go ahead and let them. And match your next exercises. Let me know if you have any questions.